And welcome everybody, it's me, GhostCritic, finally with another video. I can hear you all screaming, it's about bloody time. All I can really say is, I'm sorry. Please make sure you watch the end of the video. I'll give you a channel update of what's going on. But for now, this video, I'm sure like many others you don't restrict yourself here on YouTube to just watching videos about comics and comic related stuff, and I've been kind of like perusing around YouTube, and there seems to be a video theme that I was picking up on as I was searching around, a video called My First Time. Basically these are YouTubers that are telling you their first ever puppy pet, their first house, their first boyfriend girlfriend, just my first kind of video. That for me would possibly be the worst thing in the world to do. I have a memory like a goldfish being strained through a colander. I just have no memory capacity for things that happened probably yesterday morning. If you asked me what I had for breakfast yesterday, probably couldn't tell you. So as you can see from the title above, mine is going to be My Last Time, and I'm going to throw some my last whatever. You'll find out as I go along in the video, and I have some examples and I have some pictures all over the place, and I hope you enjoy. As you can see, this is called the Pop Culture Edition. I was going to call it the Geek Edition, but people seem to be a little bit sensitive and precious about that word at the moment, so I don't want to see any grown men cry. Anyway, let's go. Okay, last single issue comic book I read. It came out of, if you watch my last video, the comic haul, it came from that, and I just read it last night. It was DC's 5-issue mini-series, 0 Hour Crisis in Time. And it just shows how ill-informed and ignorant I was about this. I managed to pick up issue 2 and issue 3. And I didn't realise that when this was first published, it went, you read it kind of backwards in numbering. They first came out with issue 4, then 3, then 2, then 1, then 0. Of course I didn't know that. So I read issue 2 first. And when I came to read this issue, I was like, well, what they're talking about here has already happened in the last issue. Oops. Now already my memory serves me ill. The last graphic novel I read, I probably just read these two at the same time, which is why I kind of, which one is it? So I'll show you them both. They both come from Vertigo. It was the last volume of the great series from Jeff Lemire's Sweet Tooth. It was just such a wonderful ending and almost brought tears to my eyes. And this brought tears to my eyes, but just for a totally different reason. Obviously, it was the very last volume of Vertigo's Hellblazer, John Constantine. I expected something bigger to happen, but given that the character, however watered down he is now in the regular DC universe, they couldn't really do anything really out of the ordinary or unexpected. But I still love this title. I have almost all of these now to complete my series, but both brilliant reads. Now, the last sci-fi movie I watched, if we're going to go retro here, last weekend I think it was, I decided to re-watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind, because I think they just added it to Netflix, and it just brought back so many memories. And I'm sure I said this when I tweeted that I was watching it. This was basically the movie that I fully embraced all things kind of alien, and really was the point where I had to watch anything that had aliens in, alien abductions, anything to do with space and the unexplained. If we're talking movies that have only just come out recently, I recently saw Tom Cruise in Oblivion, and I really liked it. I guessed the twist much earlier on. I won't say what it was just in case, but it was really cool, post-apocalyptic kind of sci-fi movie, and it had Tom Cruise in, and I like Tom Cruise. Okay, I watch a ton of TV programmes, and I get quite far behind with a few of them because I watch them in kind of chunks of 2 or 3 episodes at a time. But the last sci-fi series that I watched was possibly, well, almost my favourite programme of all time, narrowly picked by Buffy, which is my all-time favourite TV programme, and it is The X-Files. I love The X-Files. It kind of gets connected to the whole Close Encounters, my retro sci-fi movie I just recently watched. It was alien abductions, it was conspiracy theories, it was the unexplained, and I lapped every single season of this up. However ropey it got at the end and how convoluted, I still loved it. Alex Krycek is my favourite character from it. Every episode with him in it was a treat to watch, and I'm currently on season 3, I think, because I'm rewatching them all. And he's playing a big part at the moment, so I'm like really happy. Fantasy movies. Netflix again just recently added this movie to their roster. It was Peter Jackson's The Hobbit. I mean, I love Lord of the Rings anyway. It's such an epic trilogy, and I just saw it not so long ago. And it's just the same. It's so enchanting, so magical. You just get absorbed into the world of Middle-earth. The whole dwarves thing, it kind of had me remembering like the Time Bandits, or all the little guys from there, because they're like joking and they've all got their own little characters and they're all a bit silly, but I just loved every minute of it. Fantasy TV. Now obviously sci-fi can be fantasy as well, but when you hear what I mean by fantasy, you'll understand why I picked this, and it was the last what I consider a fantasy TV programme. It was, again, it's Netflix are adding so much over in the UK now, and I'm much appreciative for all these TV programmes and films they're adding. And it is Legend of the Seeker. Now this came way back out in 2008. It only lasted 2 seasons. I think there's 44 episodes in all. But I had read the books that they were based on by Terry Goodkind. And I remember this first series is meant to be based on The Wizard's First Rule. And I thought, oh, I'll give that a go. I remember reading this. And you know they have like the ratings. It's like U, PG, 15, 18, whatever. And I looked at it and it said it was a PG TV series, and I thought, well, that's going to be strange because there are some quite dark and disturbing passages and scenarios in the book. How are they ever going to portray that on a PG rated TV series? But we'll see. I only really got through about half an hour of the first episode. I kind of had attention deficit disorder while I was watching it, but it did kind of remind me as like almost a precursor to the Game of Thrones. It's very, you know, huge landscapes, lovely photographed and filmed, clans all over the place, and loads of magic thrown in at the same time. Apparently it wasn't well received, but I'll keep giving it a go until I get bored of it. Okay, last comic book movie I watched, and I'm not really going to get too much into this because, well, bit of a controversial film, to be fair, about its content. It was Iron Man 3. Now, I don't go to the cinema. I hate going to the cinema, which is why I've only just recently seen this movie. Personally, I really enjoyed it. It was much better than Iron Man 2. There was plenty of action, special effects. Yes, to the detriment of maybe the plot line, but the best part of it, and I know this is very naughty of me to say, but when they revealed the Mandarin and who he really was, I laughed out loud. Not because per se that it was because of the character was funny, but that I knew there must have been thousands upon thousands of comic book fanboys screaming at the cinema screen at what they'd done to him. But I thought it was very clever the way they'd done it, and I could understand the reason for the plot point, why they did it. But I can also see why you fanboys were just a little smidgy bit annoyed about it. Now, I don't really do like action figures or toys. Most of the things I've got have been bought for me for presents, or they've come as free gifts with something. But there is this store that seems to have appeared within the UK. It's a discount store called B&M, and it sells discounted food and homeware and toys. And I had, a while ago, I'd been in this store and saw these toys for sale. And I thought, they are really cheap and they look really cool. They come from the Marvel Superhero Squad line, and I just picked up a load, and now whenever I see any, I pick them up. But the last one I bought was this little man. It's the Spider-Man symbiote. I think you can see the Venom alien symbiote in there. But I have quite a few of these now, and I'm always looking out for more. But this was the last one I bought. Yes, I do actually manage to read something other than comic books. I love nothing more than, you know, sitting down on the sofa with a mug of coffee beside me and just reading a novel from time to time. Now, cheating a little bit because I only actually bought this yesterday, so I haven't actually read it. But it is the last one I have got, and I'm dying to read it. It's called John Dies at the End, by David Wong, sorry. And I'm just going to read you the back and why I had to pick this up, and hopefully it'll be a book that I'll love and be a real page turner. But it goes like this. Stop. You should not have touched this book with your bare hands. No, don't put it down, it's too late. They're watching you. My name is David Wong, my best friend is John. Those names are fake. You might want to change yours. You may not want to know about the things you'll read on these pages, about the source, about Korok, about the invasion and the future, but it's too late. You touched the book. You're in the game. You're under the eye. The only defence is knowledge. You need to read this book to the end, even the part with the Bratwurst. Why? You just have to trust me. The important thing is this. The drug is called soy sauce, and it gives users a window into another dimension. John and I never had the chance to say no. You still do. I've got to read this. I've got to. A perfectly easy one for me. Last comic book store I was in was, of course, every Wednesday you'll find me in Close Encounters, Northampton. picking up my Wednesday New Comic Book Day goodness, run by Jeff. And while I'm talking about the store, you might as well, in case you're not sure or don't know, if you live in the UK, in about 3 weeks time, I'll put a link in the bottom in the description bar. It is the second comic book convention that Jeff has organised, abbreviations NICE, the NICE convention. It's got a ton of comic book creators going to be there, so if you're around, I think it's in the beginning of September, the first week or the second week, all the details will be in the link, so go check it out. But yes, last comic book store, obvious. Now, last comic book creator I saw. Normally this would be easy, and I'd say it was Alan Moore, because you often see him walking up and down the streets in Northampton. But I haven't seen him for quite a while now. But I do see his wife, Melinda Gebbie, hanging out at the comic book shop loads of times. She's just sat there chatting with Jeff and just hanging out. And there we have it. Da-da-da. It was my last time video. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to make a video response, have a go yourself. Or if you're feeling even more adventurous, try my first time. I'm sure a lot of you have better memories for what you did all those eons ago than I have, and that would be great to watch. So with that, I shall say goodbye, but wait for my channel update at the end. Okay, so I'll make this kind of short and sweet, but it could be a bitter pill to swallow. Basically 2013 has been the shittiest of years for me. The beginning of 2013 I was full of vim and vigour, and I had high hopes for what I was going to do on this channel. I had huge ideas and I've played around with lots of them. But because of things that have happened both on and off YouTube, I just haven't the passion at this moment in time to do regular videos week in, week out. So for the rest of the year, videos will be sporadic, and they won't necessarily be what you're used to. They'll be, you know, fun videos like this one, but there will be no regularity to them. I'm really sorry. I appreciate everyone's support for me over these last few months. I probably couldn't have been where I am now without you guys. Please don't start unsubscribing me. I've just recently got over 1,000 subscribers, and that fills me with such pride, and it's an achievement, a personal achievement just for me, but it's great to have you all on board. So with that, expect me next when you expect me.